Alright, hey everybody, this is Shay. With this brochure assignment too, I know we're kind of a little bit under the gun on it and we don't have a lot of time to work on it. And I realize that's probably still a little confusing or a lot of parts to it that we didn't have time to really go over in class. So what I wanted to do was kind of help you out as much as I could. What I've done is we've got your template that you all were able to download that had things set up in panels, and it tells you what panels and everything. So here's the inside panel, inside page divided into panels, and the outside page divided into panels. What I've done is I've gone through, and on this template I've also added the required info for all the interior pages. So you've got three things you have to have: the honors convocation, Scholars Day, and the music recital info. These are the times we're going to plug into there for now, unless I get an update that says we're going to use another thing. So I've already got this stuff typed in for you on the front page, or outside page, I guess. Here's what's required for the front left panel here. There's all of the text for that. I need to find the annual event number. If it's the 20th or whatever, I need to find that and get that to you. But you can use this text info for now. Over here, you have to have these two things on the front cover panel. They must be on there. And then you've got to have a color photo, and you could probably use the Wesleyan logo, and you should be able to download a color and a purple version of that. And then you also have in the center back mail panel here, and let me go ahead and just rewrite that and call that back mail panel. In this section, you have to include college name and address, college seal, and the room for a stamp and room at the center for a label. So this is where your stamp would go, approximately there, and then the mailing label here. So I tried to, give you the text so you don't have to worry about typing it in or anything like that. With this, what you should be able to do is just go in, and let's say you're going to work on this back panel. You can grab your text, and I've put all the text in as a Courier, which is a font you absolutely positively do not want to use. So you must change these fonts to something else. You cannot use Courier. It's not really for what we're trying to do here. And then you have like honors convocation. That's a header. Scholars Day is a header, and 88 Keys music recital is a header. So those, per the prospectus, need to be in bold. So what you want to do is, however you're going to lay this out, you can select your text box, and then you can go to your character menu. And if you don't see the character menu, go to the window menu, and under type and tables, go to character. And you should be able to scroll through these fonts and pick something else. So you could do Helvetica, you could do Times New Roman, and then under the main font name, you'll have the option for some to do italic, or bold italic. So that's a design decision on your part as to what you want to do, and then you could go in and start scaling things up. Same here. I would use the same font on this copy as you do in the header. So in this case, I would select this box and use Times New Roman. Okay, and so then you have something that feels like it belongs together. Now you can break from that. If you want to use another font here, that's fine. We're going to try to limit this to 2 fonts. So you might have a bold font for your header that's a serif font, and maybe you want to do Helvetica. And you could start typing in your font name here if you want and save a little bit of a step. So maybe Helvetica, these are giving me a lot of Helvetica options that aren't the ones I want. Let's do Helvetica bold. That might work, that might not work. So that's, again, up to you. If I don't like the bold, I can select regular. So that looks good together. So you can pick and choose your fonts, but try to keep it limited to 2, and think about where it's important to keep things consistent, though, too. So that's how you can treat these. That'll save you a little bit of time, and really you're just laying it out. You're deciding how those flow. You're deciding how much space between those lines. So this, I might want that font larger. So as I resize that to fit in my panel, I might see that I get a reflow here. And so this looks a little weird following reception following in Winchester Center. So I probably want those two on the same line. Okay. So that's one way to do it, is adjust the size of the box. It's one way you can get those on the same size, or you can do, with your text tool, a line break and do it that way. Now, if I want to adjust the spacing between those lines, what I can do is I can select, just have my cursor in there and select all of that, and then I can adjust here. Okay, this is going to make my leading. I can adjust this by clicking, or I can enter in a value. I can select that, or I can type to make that whatever I want to make it. So for something like this, I'm going to do it visually. There are other rules for the way you can assign leading values, but for something like this, I'm going to work in a very visual manner and see what looks good, and not so much about following certain rules. So that's how you can use this text, and that's how you should treat these text boxes. Again, think about where on your page your text is going to be and where your photo is going to be. Again, the design part is up to you. I just wanted to give you a little bit of help here, and as far as knowing what you need to have on your page, and save you a little bit of time as far as like going through all that and trying to figure it out. Something else I've done in this document is on your color swatches, and if you don't see the swatch palette, and basically if you don't see any of these palettes, what you can do is go to the Windows menu and go to Color and go to Swatches. I've added 3 color swatches that you can use. There's Wesleyan Purple, which is the official purple you need to use for anything that's going to be purple. When you bring the logo in, it's going to have the right color purple. If you're going to, say, make this text Wesleyan Purple, you need to select it. So if I click on Wesleyan Purple with this box selected, it makes the box that color purple. Okay, which is fine. If I want to make the text a certain color, I need to get the text tool, and I can click and drag it to select that text. Or if I click 3 times really quick, it selects all the text in that box. Then I can click on Wesleyan Purple, and you'll see up here, this box in the front, that's what you're going to assign a color to. So in this case, it's got the letter T for type, so you know when that's selected, you're about to turn the type that color. Okay, so this is now the official Wesleyan Purple color. So you can do that. Now, what you can also do is, let's say you wanted to do that with a purple background. So you can select your text and draw it out. In this case, it had that purple selected, but I can click it. No, there you go. Click it and make sure it's that color purple. Then I could put this on top. Now, what you'll see is I created a new box, and so that is on top of everything else. So I want to bring this text box to the front so it can sit on top of this box. And a good way to kind of show that is kind of put it half there. And let's go ahead and go to Object and Arrange Bring to Front. So now this is on top. What I want to do is select it all and use the paper color to make that white. So that's how you can assign colors to text and colors to boxes. Just make sure you're using the appropriate color. All right. I think that's kind of hopefully just enough to get you started here, or at least to give you a little bit of help. But you should be able to use all of this text. I've proofed it. I'll proof it again before I upload it. But I want you to have that. And I may drop another 1 or 2 little short InDesign tutorials up tonight for you to check out. Again, this is going to be due at the end of class on Wednesday, which I know is a crazy deadline. which is why you want to do this. And I'm also going to have one for the four-page program that I'll do the same thing for you guys. It'll be a little bit simpler. But so this new template is going to be uploaded. I'll put version 2 in the name so you'll know which one to download. What else? Oh, and what you'll do is you'll create all of your new stuff on layer 7. Okay, so all of these other layers should be locked when you get this template. So you won't be able to create anything on these layers. So when you start, open your layers palette and select layer 7. That's going to be your working layer. That's where everything is at. That's where this text is. So do that and work on layer 7. Okay. Something else I do want you to do is when you get ready to save these out, what you'll do. Well, actually, I'll do a separate video for that, and give you a little more direction on that. But in the meantime, hopefully this will help you kind of move a little quicker on the tri-panel brochure, and I'll get that brochure, the 2-page program one up for you too sometime tonight. All right, guys, thanks.